Today we're going to go over the beautiful blanket flower, and look at this. Can you see the seeds that are good or not good? But if you get them right, you'll get the flowers starting to grow, and they'll slowly open up. Before you know it, you have the most beautiful flower. Don't get hasty when it goes to collecting seeds. If you collect too early, you may not get the plant you want. Today we're going to talk the right way to collect seeds. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. We're going to step out in the bird garden today because, as you may know, some of you, this flower came up on its own, just this one plant, and this is an Indian blanket flower. Now, I've been trying to do a lot of research on this, and I found a lot of misinformation on here. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this, because in case you're trying to collect the seeds, it may not be as easy as you think. And it could be the situation that I'm dealing with. I have not seen a lot of pollinators coming to this. I haven't seen the hummingbirds really picking around. And the only thing I can see on here is pollen. See the yellow? It's actually very sticky. So that would be attracting a lot of bees and butterflies. So we've been so cold, and that could be an issue right now because a lot of pollinators are hibernating. Though just a couple months ago, we did have some bees hanging around, but it was much warmer then. Now we've been in the 40s. And upon doing research, I have found there's been mistakes on where the seeds actually are located. Some of the people have been putting up saying when it dries up, it's this part. See this fuzzy part? And this gets dry, and then you end up with these crispy, dry parts that almost look like Rice Krispies, but they don't really contain the seeds. Now this is going to disappear, and that's going to come off. There's no seed in that. That is nothing more than the petal. Then you're going to end up with this when you're all done, and this will dry up. What it is, and I'm not going to go into the technical terms, it is basically the part that's going to protect the seed. So a lot of people have been collecting this and showing this on videos and taking these parts off, saying this is the seed. I do not believe that's the seed at all. And we'll go over where the seed is. Now, I have not seen any birds coming to this beautiful plant and removing any of the seeds, but that's not to say that little tiny seed eaters could not, be coming in when I'm not here, and I may not catch them doing it, and that is possible. So I don't believe right now I have to cover this. If I was worried and I really wanted to collect it, or you're into collecting seeds and selling them, or you want to pass them around, I could cover this with tulle. You know how I use tulle all over my garden. That would protect anything coming, not so much insects at this point, but more of bird life coming in and collecting the seed. By covering it with tulle, nothing would be able to bother it. You could leave it on the plant and it could do its thing. Now, I would get far more flowers on this beautiful plant if I deadhead them. And that means taking off all this. And I think right now it is way too early to remove if I want to get viable seeds to grow, because it's still feeding off the mother plant. See, it's not dried out. The moment it dries out, it's not getting anything from the mother plant at that point. So to collect the seeds, I would leave it as is. Once they're completely dry, then you can clip it off. You don't need the whole stem. Clip it off and bring it in the house and let it continue to dry. Then I'm going to show you what I did to collect the seeds and how I removed this when it was dry, and then we went and checked the seeds. Now, generally, if people sell you something that's not viable, it's not going to grow. So sometimes when you're buying seeds and you're saying, what did I do wrong? I did everything right. I did what they said. Well, I had people give me seeds, and then I found out they were collecting them way too early. And if they're too early, it's like a premature baby. It's not going to survive. A preemie that wasn't taken care of correctly or didn't develop right, well, the seeds can have that problem too. So you want to make sure you collect seeds that are viable, and the other thing is check them. So we're going to go in and look at the Indian blanket flower seeds, and I'll show you, not only show you, but we can listen, and we will know what seeds are good and what seeds are basically empty. It's kind of like a sunflower. If a sunflower doesn't get pollinated, you can crack open a kernel, and what are you going to find? nothing inside because it didn't get pollinated. It created the outer shell to hold the baby, to hold the seed, but inside was empty. Well, this can happen to anything, including these flowers. But I do believe I've got a couple right now. So even in the dead of winter, as cold as it is, and as you can see, there's no bees around trying to pollinate this beautiful flower. So I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to try to mush this around a little bit. I'm hoping that I don't need multiple flowers, because if I need multiple flowers, then it won't work. But there is no other flower to do it on, only that one, and that one's not open. This plant tends to throw one beautiful flower at a time, so they go in stages. Now, of course, if I took all the seed heads off, it would grow multiple flowers, but I only have the one plant. So we're gonna work with the one plant right now. But that may work because normally they get in there and they push it to the base of the plant. They get the pollen from the top down inside, kind of like working with dragon fruit. And hopefully this will move it around and I'll get some seeds in there, because there could be hundreds of seed casings in there, the outside. But what we want is the seed to develop on the inside. So when we collect that seed, we can go back and then we can plant it. And that's the whole idea of that. So let's go in and let's look at the seed, the pods that I collected, and I'll show you what looks good and what does not. So you will know, and this will work with a lot of other seeds that you're collecting from other flowers as well, including vegetable plants. So here is one that I picked. Now, I think this one's a little early, but I want you to see this because I have been collecting seeds. See that coming off? That is the base of the petal. There's no seeds in there. So the petal comes off and it leaves behind the base that protects the seed pod. This possibly will keep out birds from getting too many seeds because it kind of blocks the seeds. You can pull all that off. If somebody sells you the base of those petals, there's no seeds in there unless a couple of them got stuck. And that can occasionally happen. But most of the seeds stay on the ball. As we're looking through here, see, this is nothing more than the base of the petal of the flower. There's no seeds in there. You can plant them. Nothing's going to happen. But that does have a seed on there. Is the seed good? On this one, probably not. And we'll go over and I'll show you how I know which are good and which are not. Now, looking through here, I brought a few in that were very dry. And I went through them and I could see that most of them were no good. They were going to be empty, like I talked about earlier. But I did spot two that look like those do contain a seed, an actual seed. So I'm going to show you here how we're going to know. See the difference? It's a little grayer, which means there's a little dark seed in there, and the other ones are kind of on the light side. Probably didn't get pollinated by enough bees, but you know, it's hard to say. It could be the weather, it could be a lot of different things. So I separated those two. And here is what we're going to listen. Listen. Hear that? Sounds like a little rock. We'll do it one more time so you can hear it. Now listen. That is good. Now this one, listen. Nothing. It's like dropping a leaf in there, really. Listen. See? And there are the two. Sounds like two pieces of stones. That's what you want. And those will hopefully grow. And I'll plant those in the spring. It's too early now. The other ones, nope, they're empty. So I hope I gave you some tips. And hopefully I get a lot more pollinated come this spring. But now you know how to check for your seeds to see if they're any good, especially on the beautiful blanket flower. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. And please like and subscribe if you want to know more. Bye-bye.